Marauders, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be installing Black Dog Cycle Works traction foot pegs 2025 BMW R1300 GS. Better look at the bike. I'm going to give you a shot of how the pegs are. Let's give you a look at the size of the stock peg with a rubber insert in it. And this is the size of, oh my God, I'm going to love these. This is the size, and they're a ½ inch lower. I might have to adjust the brake controls. They are, it looks like they're going to be, they say a ½ inch lower and a ½ inch further back. That's the size comparison. I'm aligning the pins. Again, ½ inch lower and maybe an inch further back. We'll see. I should maybe take some measurements on it. So that's the size of the peg. Let's look at my foot. Stock pegs are so small. If you can see that on camera, it's not even the width of my boot, which my feet are not huge at all, although these are a size 13, I think. You can see that my foot can roll off the size of it. Definitely, I do not like rubber inserts on bikes. So I'm not sure. When they say they move the peg back an inch, that may give you on the shifter side more room to get underneath the shifter when you're wearing big boots. But you can see that the pegs are just too small on stock bikes, and they were also too small on my Husqvarna. So we're going to go down into the Marauder cave and we're going to assemble the Black Dog Cycle Works traction foot pegs. We have to install the studs in them in the basement. We're going to go down and do that, then come back up here and show you the installation on the bike. See you in the Marauder cave. I love that, like Bat Cave, Marauder Cave. I think that's like, isn't that a nice play on? I like that play. Great bike. The reason I do these in the camera setup in my shop, call it the Marauder Cave, like the Bat Cave. It's a nice setup in the shop with lights and my assembly table down here. I used to work on guns, pistols, rifles down here, and also build remote controlled planes mostly on this table. And then all the tools are for maintaining the house and different projects in here. Also, it's nice, the TV is a little change in a set. But the lighting in my shop, I have these LED lights all over the shop, 2 over the workbench, are phenomenal for doing camera work or things I'm working on. So that's why I prefer, so you can see, as well as me, the video comes out very well and I have ample light for showing you assembly. I'll save it for another video installing the platform foot pegs, which are a little less aggressive on the GS Adventure. So let's take a look at the traction foot pegs in comparison to the platform foot pegs, which probably, and the reason being the GS is going to be the bike that I'm going to run on gravel and dirt roads, seasonal roads, not the GSA, BMW GS Adventure. They're huge. When I replaced the foot pegs on my Husqvarna Norden 901 Expedition to a larger foot pegs, it was like a game changer. Even on a street bike, larger foot pegs are so much better than smaller foot pegs. They're just outstanding. Anyways, the machining on these are beautiful, both the traction and the platform pegs. On the traction, you screw in these studs, which I'll try to show you. There, it looks like six of them you screw in for extra traction on the bike off-road. Also, the holes are bigger in the foot peg to allow mud to clear out. So this is a platform. It has no threaded holes for the studs, the traction studs you put in. And then here is the traction foot peg, both the same size, but you see how the holes are bigger in it compared to this, the platform. I think this would be more than enough for me, but I figured why not? The cost is the same. on the off-road bike, I'll use them. Now they do give you red Loctite or thread lock to put on these studs. So I'll do that. And I'm not going to show you the complete, by the way, they give you springs for the GS, although Black Dog in their instructions online, you scan this code in their instructions online when you download, say use the springs that you have on your GS, but they give you an extra set of springs anyways, which is nice. They give you a installation tapered spindle to use to hold the spring in place, and then you slide your factory spring through, and it looks like it's magnetized. So you put the spring assembly in place on the bike, then you push your stock pin through and it holds the spring in place, which is nice that they supply you with that. E-clips, they give you 2 E-clips. Oh, you can't see them. Give you 2 E-clips, which is also very nice. I'm sure I'm going to struggle putting those in and out. So what I'm going to do now is, I won't show you the whole process or do it in time lapse, but I'll show you start to finish. I'm going to put the studs where they're pointed tops, I'm going to thread them in to both foot pegs. Man, this TV struggles watching YouTube. Just struggles. So I'm going to thread these in to and they're huge, which I love. They're so light in the machining. Again, look at the machining on these. Look at the underneath. Who cares about the underneath? Well, Black Dog does. It's beautiful. Look at the topographical contours on the bottom of it. Very, very nice. Very, very high quality. Okay, so let's open up to see how this Loctite opens up. They also give you an Allen wrench. This is really nice that they give you this. So I just want to emphasize this. You put I recommend putting the Loctite at the opposite end of the threads from the point of the stud. Vibratite 146 is what they send you, thread locker, and it's very nice. So you put it at the opposite end because that's what you're going to thread in first, and you thread them with the Allen driver side down into the peg. One of those mornings where nothing seems to be going right. So I'm going to thread all of them in from the top of the peg with the Allen driver side down and the point up. And then I'm getting Loctite all over my fingers. Thread lock. It's not Loctite, thread lock. And then stick the Allen wrench in through the bottom and then screw them down until they stop. They have a stop on them, and they do stick up above the teeth on it, which is interesting. And by the way, if I don't like these, if they're too high, these studs, I can always take them out. And I can also, if I want more traction, raise them up. All right, I'll show you when they're done. Okay, so I got thread lock all over my fingers. My fault. I want to show you how far these studs stick up. I want to say a solid 1/8 of an inch higher than the stock, the teeth that are cut in, which are very sharp, that are cut in to the foot peg. So and because it's pointed, I'm sure the sole of your boot will cut into that or depress into it, and then your boot will fall on these other teeth that are on the foot peg. And this is what both of them look like set up with the studs on them, the traction studs. Not sure that's what they call them. Just beautiful. I can't wait to get these on the bike. All right, let's go up and we'll put them on the bike. All right, let's put these on the bike. I want to get the orientation of the brake lever and shifter level in regards to the stock pegs because I like how they're set up. So I'm just going to take a board, lay it over here, and it looks like the brake lever is 7/8 of an inch in its resting position, maybe 7/8 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch below which is a lot lower, frankly, lower than the foot peg with the rubber insert. And the rubber insert sits a heavy 1/8 inch above the peg. Okay, got that out of the way. So I'm going to use, I think, a Torx 30 bit. And to get this pin up, out, they want you to take off this cover, which I've had off before when I ceramic coated the bike. Wow, and these cover plate screws are all different sizes. Well, at least 2 of them are the same size, it looks like. So that cover is off. E-clip is not going to be the easiest thing to take off. I am not an expert with E-clips. So I have a hook tool. I don't know if I got on that camera. The little tool worked. I'm getting it out. Okay, switch up on a different angle. So hopefully you got a good eye on this. I'm going to pull the pin out. The stock pin, obviously. That's the stock spring. This is the guide pin that they want you to use. So it's tapered. We want the long, per their instructions, we want the long side of the spring, the side, to face in towards the bike. So I'm going to squeeze the spring in here and then put the tapered guide spring in. Okay. Now I'm going to take, per their directions, I'm going to come in through the top, putting pressure on the spring. Wow! Wow! Wow, that went in. The pressure, hard pushing it in. I don't know if you saw that on camera. Not the easiest thing to push in. Pick up the spring, this guide pin, because I have to use it on the other one. Get the E-clamp clip. Try using pliers to push the E-clips down. This is the hardest part. On the Norden, I struggled with a cotter pin. The cotter pins on that bike were like, oh my God, they were like made out of tensile steel. The E-clip is in place and it's seated. Bada bing. Now, if you remember right, I'm not sure if this is how you adjust this. I'm going to try it. There's a set screw here to adjust it, and I'm going to try right now. This is probably almost level. So it definitely is lower. It's about 3/8 of an inch higher than it should be, or at least per spec. I'm going to try. So I think the way I have to adjust that is by spinning this clevis up and down on the brake lever. And I think to lower it, I have to spin it up. So I'm going to have to remove this pin, cover up my drain. I'm going to have to remove this pin and spin it up. And I'll try doing it at about 1/8 of an inch. And I think it has another E-clip. Oh God, no, it has a cotter pin. I hate cotter pins. So I had to remove this little cotter pin. Now I'm going to pull this pin that holds the brake lever in place. So there's a little back tension on it. Now I believe, oh, this is not going to be easy now. Okay, so I'm going to spin this up. If I spin it up, spinning up, it's going to lower it. So that is how I do it. Okay, so I spin that. I spun this up, this clevis up, and now I'm going to put the pin back in temporarily to see how the level is in relation to the peg. Wow, and that looks like almost where I want it. Whoa! 3/4 of an inch, guys. Should I do, I'm going to do a half turn. Maybe I'll do a half turn up more. Half turn up more. That is right at where it was spec. Let me get on the bike and see how it is. I'm going to back it off a little bit. I'm going to tighten it up a little more. I'm going to take that half turn out of it, and then that's it. So I'm going to take that half turn out. So it's going to be a little higher than what it was. Put this pin back in. Get this cotter pin. Please don't ask me. I hate cotter pins. Oh my God. It went in. Oh my God. I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to show you me fussing around with that cotter pin, but it went in the first shot. I'm going to take it. I have to push it down with the pliers. Okay, the cotter pin's seated. Then I'm going to take my, is it a 10 millimeter? 12 millimeter wrench, and I'm going to tighten down this back nut and spread the cotter pin. Okay. See you on the other side. Waning battery power. Let's put this side panel back on. I hate cotter pins. Oh my gosh, do I hate cotter pins. Not a fan of cotter pins. Not a fan. So this panel installation is not going very well, is it? Keeping it real. Keeping it real. Woohoo! Okay. Let's get to the other side. So let's check the orientation of this foot peg to the shifter. Wow, that's at least an inch down. And I do like the setup on this. Let's take a measurement to see. So this is front of the peg is 5 inches back, shifter lever, and the shifter level is a solid, no, it's a light. Again, we're about 7/8 lower on the shifter peg. To get this pin out, they want you to remove this nut that holds the shifter arm, bolt nut, it's a bolt. And that is, this is a T40 Torx. Break it loose. Whoa. So that came completely out of the way. Now we know, and that had a lot of Loctite in it. So now I have to remove that E-clip. Can I do it without getting my face in it? Wow. So use this tool when you're removing that E-clip. That made it a lot easier. Let's put the E-clip down over here. We're going to pull the pin, make sure the spring doesn't hit us in the face. So the stock pin is out. Stock foot peg is out. Again, the long spring is going in towards the bike, and we're going to push the tapered pin in, compressing the spring and pushing that tapered pin in. Bada bing, bada boom, that's in. Temporary pin's in. Can I do it without gloves? Am I going to cut myself? Probably. Okay, let's. Bada bing! Bada bing! E-clip. I don't remember how I got the E-clip in on the other side. I think I just punched it in. So what I'm doing it, holding it with a pair of pliers, I'm going to come in through the top, and the pin is sticking out the bottom. Holding it firmly with the pliers. It's in the groove. Bada bing! Bada bing! The E-clip's in. Okay. This side definitely springs better than the other side, doesn't it? This spring is a little longer. I wonder if I should have replaced it. Okay, so let's put the shifter arm back in. And I'm not going to put more Loctite on the shifter arm because it has so much Loctite on. So I'm going to loosen this lock nut. So let's hold the shaft. So let's hold this, try holding it with a set of pliers. And let's see if we can spin this nut to break it loose. So I don't think this is a locking nut. I think this nut adjusts this whole assembly. So, all right, so I did a couple spins down. Let's see where it lies when I slip this back up. It seems the entire world wants to get a hold of me. And you know what? I bet you that's going to be perfect. Oh, bada bing. Okay, so let's see where this lies. And it's recessed, the back of the shifter level. This is seated and it has 3 different positions. Not sure how that orientation works out. Actually, I think it's going to be a little low now. It's a little low. I got to raise it up. Okay, but you see, and I wonder if I can raise it up. So I dropped this down 1/8 of an inch, well, 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to try putting it in that uppermost. Sorry guys, I'm struggling with this. Let's try, we'll hold it in this position. I'm going to tighten this nut down. I'm going to spin it back. I'm going to tighten the lock nut down. So let's try sliding this up in position again. And I'm going to put it at the furthest most hole. Let's give a quick measurement here. Way too low. So I got to go all the way to the back hole. Yep, it's off by at least 1/4 of an inch. So let's go to the middle hole. Bada bing! Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna put Loctite on it and tighten everything up. Let's look at the orientation of the stock foot peg. So actually, I don't know that this is further back than the stock. I think it's the same distance back. If not, maybe a little forward. It definitely is. Look at the size difference between the two. Let's give you a look up atop again. Look at the size difference between these pegs. Come on. All right, let me give you a shot of me on the bike again. So I might adjust that shift lever. It is in the stock location. I haven't shifted the bike manually standing up yet. It's actually in a good position to downshift. It's upshift that I just have to get used to. The pegs are, I don't know if you can see that, they're wider than my boot. That's a good shot. They're wider than my boot in spots, or just the width of my boot, where the other one was at least 1 inch shorter. The grip is phenomenal. Oh my God. The grip is phenomenal. And all right, let's give you a shot from the other angle. So I definitely strive to keep the channel real, and it would be easy for me to show you this, only a partial installation, but I wanted to include the full installation, including adjusting the levers. The grip on these pegs is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Even without those traction studs, 6 put in each peg, you can feel it gripping. I definitely notice that it is lower, and this is my riding position. I feel that it is lower, maybe about, they say, 1/2 inch lower. I get it. They say that it's further back. I think when they say that it's further back, I think they mean the back of the peg is further back. The distance from the front of the peg to the control foot levers, I would say, is about the same. I think I really got the brake position right on this side. You definitely remember I can pivot this up when I'm standing or riding off-road. So comfortable standing up on the bike. So comfortable standing up on the bike with these pegs. I love them. I can't wait to put them on the GSA. So that's that. This one doesn't snap back quite as hard as the other one. I'm not sure why, because I followed the instructions, but it does snap back. Great pegs. Marauders, that's it. I'd highly recommend Black Dog Cycle Works. I might throw in a ride. We'll see if I do a ride before I do this standing test. I might do a ride with them. Sitting back, I really notice that they're lower. Wow, I love that. I really notice that they're lower sitting back on it, and I am going to put bar risers on this bike. All right, Marauders, thank you. Hope you consider subscribing to the channel. 93% of my viewers are not subscribed. Please subscribe to the channel. It's free, it's easy, doesn't cost you a lot. So please subscribe to the channel. If you liked the video, hit thumbs up. I hope you liked it. Hope this helps a lot of people. Please share it with a friend. And thank you. I love big foot pegs. I love them. Wow, those are superb. Superb. So much nicer getting on off the bike too.